being planted too deep. Now, this right here is the remnants of the wire basket that was never removed. And as you can see, as this woody root here is enlarging in size, it is going to be wounded by the wire basket. That's just one problem. But you cannot prune the woody roots very well if you don't remove the wire basket. And if you put the tree in the ground with crushed woody roots from a tree spade or however they dig the tree, those woody roots are going to decay and rot. So putting a tree in the ground without root pruning is just something that we do not suggest or do. But this particular sprouting is a result of being planted too deep. Here's the remnants of the wire basket. The actual tree was planted this deep up here. As you can see, that's between about 7 inches too deep. And on top of that, the mulch is piled up even higher around the trunk. So this is just one example. I'm sure there's plenty of other examples around here with more girdling roots, but this tree was planted too deep. The wire basket was left on, which is going to be interfering with the growth of the woody roots. And then we have this sprouting going on. It's also coming up from in the ground. And so this tree here was planted too deep, and that just sets the predisposition in the stage for insect disease and bacteria problems, which are really a result of being planted too deep, and usually get the blame what we do is we get cause and effect mixed up. When we plant trees too deep, we have a whole list of problems associated with it that insects and fungi and bacteria usually get the blame for. Less than 1% of the microorganisms out here are actually harmful for trees. And of that 1%, those are the ones that are attracted to fresh chips. You don't want to use fresh chips. You want to leave them compost for at least a year. But here you can see you've got your roots that are going to start to be girdling if they ever have a chance to, if the tree lives long enough. But as you can see, the tree was planted about 8 inches too deep. Okay? Maybe we'll check another tree out later, because I'm sure we'll find different situations. Thank you. Okay, so Mr. Rogers, I would be more than willing to take the time to go over this with people that would be putting in bids, and I'd be more than willing to take on this enormous amount of information overload and put it in some lucid instructions and specifications for planting trees in the future. I'm not interested in going back and pointing fingers, but my interest is to help you have safe, healthy, and attractive trees, and that entails proper planting. And I'd be more than willing to spend time going over this with people and writing the specifications for you, so everybody's on the same playing page, so that the bid is actually, worthwhile, so that they get planted correctly. But these trees will be nothing but problems when they're planted too deep. It's nothing but problems. It's been well documented. This is, and this is not my work. These are other people's work. You can look in the book Modern Arboriculture by Dr. Shigo, and it has pictures of exactly what we're seeing here happening if the tree's planted too deep. Okay, thank you. Okay, now you can see how these roots are growing up and not out from the tree. So we'll leave this tree kind of at the right depth when I leave. But you can see the woody roots coming off the trunk right here. And that was about 6 to 8 inches too deep when the tree was planted, with the wire from the wire basket just waiting to injure the expanding, growing, woody root. That's one of the reasons why we remove the wire baskets. We've had nothing but problems reported with leaving the wire baskets on. So I'm going to go ahead and level this out a little bit. But as you can see, the roots are growing up, just as illustrated in the book. Yes, and one more thing. I am convinced that this root right here actually has grown up from down below and is actually growing back towards the trunk, which was severed, to become a girdling root. So graciously and respectfully, we got permission from this homeowner here to take a closer look at this tree to make this video. And I'm just going to spread this out the way I would if it was my tree, and offer to come back and apply a little bit of high quality mulch to this tree here for the homeowner, and then submit this video. Okay, and as you can see, this tree was about 6 inches too deep, without a doubt, 6 to 8 inches. And if you look up and down the street, you will easily see my point is not to crucify those that have planted trees in the past, but to move forward and write specifications to see that trees are planted correctly. Thank you. So another thing, and as you can see right here, as this non-woody